Nikita? Thou? Sis? Obata, iksan va oles nuni. Sis? Lisas. New hablos is Felicia Sokolova. Ahon isa. Se hablos is Holik. Léger. Sis. Antes oublier ça c'est Yosle. Qu'est-ce ça? Da hontes vaidas. Da kabayala. Léger hai morgon. Qu'est-ce que léger ici? Au. Cynic. Da Costellus. Skolos? Bisamonio engos nehisissa. Ingmi. Nike Kostan Alinian. I can change, if that is what you prefer. Mother tongue. Huh. I once read a book. It says placing one's mother tongue under the gaze of another language creates a thoroughly notarized relationship. Like the kind of love that requires no effort. I love my mother tongue, never because it is better, but because it is closest to me. Oh yes, it is my true name. Felicia Sokolova. I made it look like a lie to make you think that I was trying to protect myself. Anyway. According to my instructions, I'm going to ask you about a prisoner you once met and interrogated. What did you say to them? Because of a report. Please don't ask where we get the report about your conversation. It is for the greater good for us to know. It says that you seem to talked a lot of things with them, and eventually decided to let them go. And it also shows you were tipsy that day, but it doesn't matter, we don't care about that. And I understand that you also had the judicial discretion to decide the prisoner's fate. But what did you say to the prisoner exactly? Yes, I know the whole conversation, but it is your matter to admit it, so that you can get less sentence. So please, be cooperative. Ali? My face? What about it? How unique and lively it is. Can't you just be normal? How about this? I quote you, and we can discuss what you said means. Quid pro quo, okay? I can tell you my thought too. You said you're just a cog, a rumination and an idea that have been brought to life. There's little to nothing you can do apart from make the right decision. If you do that, you've achieved something, made a difference. If you muck that up, then you just be part of the growing problem, and we are not moving forward if we're moving backwards. What do you mean by these? You see, once I and some other friends often gathered, recklessly and disconcertingly searching our way between humor and fear. But we didn't want to change our mind, so there's no way out. The only way is to accept it. Quid pro quo, Arik. I told you my thought. Now tell me yours. Okay. You're not supposed to think like that. But it's typical. Yes, it is common. Many of my prisoners think like you do. And all of them ended up being guilty. Scary, right? Because I'm dangerous. Not because I'm an interrogator, but because I just don't believe in anything anymore. I have no dream. That is why. My dream? Long gone. Broken. How about yours? Still there? That's brave. You think I'm familiar? Maybe we met before in another life. Anyway, let's move on. You also said you feel like the prisoner was unlucky. Even you rescuing them was part of their bad luck. And even the enemies had hopes and ideals. Maybe they knew they were wrong deep down, but they thought they were doing their job, following orders just like you. Is the killer a professional agent? Or hired or threatened prisoner? You agree? Good. I'm glad to hear that. Everyone is just a kind cattle, cow, cog. It is normal and correct. But you said you don't want to be a bad memory or a stain on history, cognizant of being a cog in a broken machine. You're not supposed to say that. Life is forcing you to rape yourself. You feel the nerves being tense inside you, but you cannot escape. You hate yourself, but you have to love yourself, right? Why do I know? Maybe because you feel me familiar. Things might get better, things might get worse, and we are all going to be around to see which happens first. Anyway, next line. Bedivy Vestly. Davis. Ali? Still hold that thought, huh? You see, if someone ever heard of our conversation, they would accuse me as a traitor too. Because, to some extent, I am you. You also said to the prisoner that they should remember questions being asked which had no answers to, and answers that had no question. Then, though you hope not, maybe one day you will see each other again. Litzas? Axio.的后轮 Kesa. Kesa. Dao. Gelosisas. My boss. Where were we just now? I thought you would know. Because you're so clever. Not so nice to meet you again, Arik. You're not wearing black, but I am. The call? Oh, my boss asked me what I meant by the conversation just now. I said nothing. Yes, he's been listening. Bugging. I was your prisoner, and you were mine just now. In Besajeda Long Lantaise. This time, we both are. My dream, ideal, collapsed. But when I saw you, some part of my memories has been stirred up. I remember that year when you bursted into my closed cell and got me out from my depress. But I cannot escape after all. Here we are. Here I am. The book you gave me, I still have it. The book I quoted to you, I remember it in my heart. There was a wise man once asked a question, to be or not to be. And he also said it was in a nutshell. We all are. We aren't knaves all. Hey, how is your dream now? Still there? net is ça. Dao. Iksan Dao. Pantis oublier ça c'est yos le que ça. Ceci ilon upna.